Right, on this week, have I got news for you? This week's headlines. So I've got a couple selected out for you. So, dogs being banned, radiation testicles involving an iPhone 12 in France, 20 mph zones in Wales, and I think we might throw a bit in the ULEZ.
The whole ULEZ.
Oh, and the alien found in Mexico.
The alien found in Mexico.
That'll go for our UFO files.
Yeah, we can cross-link them.
#alien.
Yep.
Boom. All of the paper towels and the tinfoil hats coming in for that one.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so we'll start it off with headlines this week. Actually made it today. The XL Bully will be banned as a dog breed. Specifically that dog breed, even though it's crossbreed. Makes no sense.
What is it a crossbreed of?
I don't fucking know.
It looks like some sort of pit bull and
staff, pit bull,
like a staffy.
American pit bull. I don't really know.
It does look a lot like a staffy and maybe a bit of a Rottweiler as well. I can't really tell.
Yeah, and I must admit they've used the most genuine photo for one of them. It's got the clipped ears.
Yes.
Everything. You know, they don't actually look like that when they're bred.
I mean, it is a scary looking dog, to be fair, in that photo anyway.
But I think they're gorgeous. I think they're gorgeous looking dog. I wouldn't personally have one.
No.
But they have lovely eyes. Yeah, and they're quite docile animal, but yes, they can change. So, yes, so they've been banned. Rishi Sunak during the week pushed it forward to be part of the Dangerous Dog Act in 1991. Obviously, had to get it registered and look into the breed and everything, have experts go over it. What does that mean for the individual, the owner of the pet? Does that mean it'll be killed? No. So today it has been confirmed that they will not be collared if you currently have one.
That'd be a bit harsh, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just killing everyone's dogs.
Family dog, probably,
Yeah.
I get if they're a dangerous weapon,
Someone's like, where's the dog gone, Dad? It's like, the Prime Minister's had it killed.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh, cheers, Richard. So that's good news. That's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear that they're going to just start killing a dog.
No.
That someone else has actually probably got a really docile one that's never ever attacked. They've had it for like 14 years.
John Wicks everywhere.
Yep, exactly. Oh yeah, there would be John.
Literally.
But yes. So what does that mean then? Does it mean the dogs are going to have to be muzzled, licensed, registered? Yes, it does. So they've asked that when you are to go out with these dogs, that they will have to be registered, licensed, and you'll have to have them muzzled. Okay. Whether or not you do that,
that's only for dogs who already exist, right? Because you literally can't breed them anymore.
You won't be allowed to breed them. They'd be made illegal, which I find very hard because the policing as it is hard enough.
Yeah, I mean, how do you even police something like that?
Exactly.
Well, like if you find a puppy, do you have it put down? Like, what the fuck?
They can't even police cameras being cut off of traffic.
That's what I mean. That's kind of fucked. Like if someone starts breeding them, and they find a whole litter of like puppies, so they just kill them all.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? What inhumane asshole would do that?
I know.
Yeah, they'd obviously have to go to the RSPCA, Blue Cross or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's just something I want to talk about, and I want to touch on that I just think that we've had this before with dogs.
Yes.
With certain types.
Yes, we have.
Rottweilers, one point, were mentioned in the news.
Well,
Pitbull terriers were mentioned in the news.
Pitbulls were the big one about 15 years ago. Do you remember?
German Shepherds and Boxers were mentioned in the news. Where does it go from here?
Yeah, it's a tricky one as well because it's like obviously not all of these dogs are being bred to be violent. I mean, obviously they can be.
No. That's it.
But it's kind of like the whole pitbull thing and staffies and all that sort of thing. I mean, I remember when all this stuff really kicked off when I was a kid, because I remember some little girl got a face mauled off at the park. Yeah, and that was the first time I'd ever heard of like dogs attacking people, and I'm like, the dogs attack people?
Well, this is the only reason this has happened is because obviously we've had 2 incidents in the past week or month where a 11-year-old girl was mauled at the park. Her hand was severely injured from the dog. The owner didn't do anything. It took 2 men, I believe, in the park to fight the dog off to get it off of her eventually.
That must be quite hard to fight like a dog like that off as
well.
Yeah,
I think they reckon that they can weigh about 9 stone.
Like the people who were trying to fight off must have got injured as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because the dog's just going to bite anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and they're fast as well.
And then obviously there was a guy who was mauled to death at a petrol station during the week as well, just after Rishi Sunak had made comments about it. So, in a petrol station as well.
Yeah,
so
that's a strange place to be by a dog.
What's going on? Was this gang crime related?
Yeah, it makes you wonder if it was like, if they were kind of, setting the dog off properly to try and, scare someone or whatever.
That's it.
Because it's not like if you're
sideways.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like if you're walking your dog down the road and your dog sees a bloke in the petrol station, he's just going to go and eat him, is he?
Well, this is it. And it makes you wonder, like, what would that dog do with any other pet animal?
Yeah.
You got a cat walking down the road. Is it going to tear off straight for it?
Yeah, rip your arm off.
But that's any dog. Any dog does that, and it's whether or not you can control it.
Yeah, of course.
These are a lump of a dog. They're a unit of a dog.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, you'd walk through a doorway at the same time as that thing, and you'd actually give way to that.
Well, it's like, have you ever actually sort of just walked past a Rottweiler down the street?
Yeah,
like those things are thick.
They're huge, and they're massive.
Muscle mass on them.
These are just bigger, but a little slightly smaller.
Yeah.
But I just want to know how it's going to work in the UK, where already it is hard enough to police illegal breeders.
Yeah, I don't really know.
And you've just added another thing to the list.
Yeah, I just don't.
How this is going to work.
I just don't understand how you police it.
And I'm not being funny. It's a crossbreed.
Yeah.
So all they're going to have to do is just crossbreed it with something else now, with maybe a boxer.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Labrador. I don't really know. Because apparently if you do a boxer and a Labrador, apparently that makes kind of like a big staffy looking thing.
Oh, right.
I was hearing someone talk about it, and I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm saying. There's so many crossbreeds out there. All they do is cross the breed again.
Yeah, I don't really know how it works, to be honest.
I've got mates who've got like staffies, pit bulls, and everything like that, and I find them the most docile, timid pet.
Yeah. My friend used to have a staffy, and
go up to it rolls on his back and wants his belly scratched.
Yeah, they really like staffies are normally pretty good. Like my friend used to have a staffy, and she was like the nicest dog ever.
And do you know what the worst thing about it is that years ago they would have been considered as a nanny dog. They'd have been considered as a nanny dog.
Oh, they would have, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you left them with
like boxers and stuff.
Child,
weren't they?
Yeah. So what's happened is it the years of genetic breeding and putting things into them that's caused these traits?
You would think so, right? Because it seems like this kind of breed is bred specifically for the,
I mean, you
scary stuff.
You go onto a farmer's land, and he'll have working dog. You will never see that dog in the house.
No,
never. They will live in a kennel or on the back of the pickup. Now, to a lot of people, they go, "That's cruel." That dog works. That dog knows nothing else but work.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't know to lay down inside the house. And, you imagine having little kids running around with that face height with these dogs. With us, it's knee height.
You couldn't have like my dog is a border collie.
Yeah.
Like if I'd have trained him as a farm dog from when he was a baby, I couldn't have him around children.
Not a chance.
Because he's used to barking at sheep and herding them around.
That's it.
Can't do that to a toddler.
And that's what I wanted to touch on about was that you've got a dog. I've had past dogs. I've had Labradors, Jack Russells, and everything like that. You've got a dog now, and you've just stated that it's a collie.
Yeah,
it's a working breed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And how is he with you? What do you find him hard? Do you find him easy?
He's really good. He's just a big attention seeker. He just wants to be loved. But no, I can sometimes see in him, like if I was to train him in a certain way, like I say, like a farm dog, then towards children, he could be aggressive, trying to herd them around and stuff. Like, if you've ever seen a border collie or whatever herd sheep, if one runs off, they don't just go off; they go off and bite it to get it back.
That's right.
Like that's how they kind of herd their strays back sometimes.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to know is, that dog has been genetically engineered and has been made, but now yours is domesticated.
Yeah.
And we've now looking at a funnel where it changes. Where is the definition of dangerous dog?
Yeah, it's a very tricky one.
To having it as a pet. I mean, years ago, you used to have a license for a dog. It used to be registered and everything. You had to have a license to have a dog. These laws got relaxed. I don't know when they happened. I
imagine they got relaxed because they couldn't really be enforced that
well.
No,
and this is just another breed that's going to be added to something. I don't think they're going to be able to police.
No, like how do you... Like, the police can't stop every single person with a dog saying, "Can I see your dog license?" Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can't have, like, ANPR for dogs. Like, do you know what I mean?
All of the same, facial recognition.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. And, we now have... you got to have your dog tagged, don't you?
Yeah, microchipped.
Microchipped. So what was wrong with that?
Yeah, it does make you wonder where, like you said, the cut-off's going to be. Like, you know, certain breeds can also be classed as more dangerous than others, but
of course they
not
can.
every dog from a certain breed is the same. Just like every person's the same. Like,
no, that's right. It is the nature. It's how it's been trained. It's how it's been brought up. It's like saying the old thimble thing, isn't it? Children aren't born racist.
Yeah,
they're made racist.
Yeah, that's a learned behaviour.
This is how this has gone,
and a lot of this
how
stuff,
they've been trained.
Yeah,
you know, you see the videos of them getting at these camps, and they teach them to take down full-size 6'2" men in great big foam suits, and you know, to chase people up walls.
Have you seen the ones when they like run up trees and do backflips and stuff?
Exactly.
So they can like jump across and stuff like that. It's crazy.
And then they'll sell that to like the average family member of like 3 children.
Yeah.
But yes, I think there's a lot more to come of this. I think I'd like to know where it's going to be added into the Dangerous Dog Act of 1991, and what was going to come next.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see. And we'll try and update if we can. With more
I bet it won't. I bet it'll be one of these things that'll just go quiet.
Very quiet.
To the next attack.
Yeah, until 5 years later when someone else's kid gets mauled to death and they'll be like, oh, no more Labradors for anyone. And it's like, where'd you draw the line? Guess we'll see. Forgot what we were talking about.
Testicles, radiation, iPhones,
radiated balls,
women's wombs.
Women's wombs.
That's right, you heard me. And Seb say it. France are banning the iPhone 12.
Yes, they are.
iPhone 12.
Who's still got an iPhone 12? Well,
2020 that came out.
Yeah.
What are you on the iPhone 15 now?
That's just come out on that 15.
Why is it taking France so long to ban an iPhone 12 that's... I don't know if people are still buying them. I imagine companies do.
Do you reckon it's an issue with the fact iPhone 12 has always had this level of radiation, or it's a fault in the model that over time they produce more? It's not really...
You're saying that the quality of it...
Yeah, I'm saying
as we go getting newer models of that iPhone 12.
I'm saying that when they first come out, they might not produce as much radiation, but as they've gotten older, they don't age as well as the other ones. And maybe leak out more.
Good point.
For some reason. It does not clear which way it goes.
But who picks this up?
Yeah, that's a good point. Surely this stuff is tested by someone, right? Like early
that's
on.
what I was under the impression of. I was under the impression that every phone and everything gets tested. Everything gets tested in the world, doesn't it, before it gets sold as a consumer?
Yeah.
And obviously, years ago, like you said, your dad said, you're not having a phone, you'll get cancer.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, he goes...
Get cancer and die.
I was like, oh, can I have a phone? And he goes, no, you can't have it, it'll give you brain cancer and you'll die. And I'm like... But you've got one, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm an adult." Cool, Dad. Thanks.
Yeah, I just won't get brain cancer. I'll just get cancer somewhere else.
Oh no, that's what he said to me. He said it's only kids that get it from phones. And as a kid, I was like, "Oh wow, thanks for the knowledge."
Go to Great Ormond Street and explain that. Then.
Literally,
fucking scientist.
Anyway,
but this is we tried to put it in the search engine on Google, and like, what is the average radiation that's emitted from a mobile phone? Google come up with very low levels.
Very low levels.
Thank you, woke Google. But yeah, so France, why is it taking you so long? Like you said, and how's this been tested?
Yeah, I'd be quite interested.
Do we need to be aware of the new phones or something?
Yeah.
You know, and what levels are they giving off?
Why is it only iPhone 12 as well?
Why the iPhone 12?
Like,
was there something going on in 2020 we don't know about?
The 10 and the 11.
Is that like when there was COVID?
Yeah.
So did you think they just forgot to do the radiation testing and
Maybe.
just sell the material out?
Maybe there's more radiation in there because that's how Bill Gates was giving us all COVID.
Bill Gates. That's tinfoil hat.
That's real tinfoil. I should have put the hat on.
You are putting the hat on.
Put the hat on.
It might not fit your head.
There we go.
That's it. Now you got to say it again.
In 2020, Bill Gates gave us COVID with iPhone 12 radiation.
He is awoken. Not woke, awoke.
Awoken.
Awoke. Was it called Awake? Awaken.
Awake.
Oh, something like that. But yeah, but fucking, like, how long has this taken them to figure this out?
Yeah.
What about the new iPhones? I think it said the Motorola gives off quite a lot as well.
Motorola gives off, like, almost, was it twice as much or extra?
Twice as much.
Quite a lot.
It said ear.
I mean, it's obviously quite a small amount anyway, but...
What's that, ear radiation? It said like something about ear. So, and it only but I don't understand all of it. I thought this stuff was tested to we all knew that everything gives off radiation in the house. Everything in the household, even your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, everything gives off some radiation.
You know, but is it sitting like in a microwave? Because this has just reminded me right now, because obviously every man puts his phone in his right pocket or left pocket, wherever you got. Maybe France put their left. Now I feel like Stan's dad in South Park, Randy, when he puts his balls in the microwave, and I've got to walk around with a wheelbarrow. Am I going to have to do this?
Does make
Is France onto something? Are my testicles going to get big?
I'm wondering if France are doing this because they've maybe lowered their legal limit of how much radiation it can give off. So now that just automatically bans the iPhone 12. But it's not immediately clear how this has come about.
You're onto something.
It's not clear how it's come about, really, from what we can see. But
I thought they'd be the same levels as all models.
You would think so, right? Because realistically, as we all know, the hardware doesn't change that much from iPhone to iPhone.
No, you just change a button or...
I mean, I'm sure, have you seen the memes about the iPhone 15?
And it was no different.
And the memes are a whole year of development. They've made it 1 gram lighter. Good job.
And it's got a USB-C charger.
Yeah.
But it won't have the same data level as the Lightning had.
Yeah.
Is that trying to say Lightning was better?
Yeah, they don't like the fact it's USB-C.
It's too late. It's too late. I'm amazed at how the EU had so much of a pull over that, considering it's an American design phone and then it's built in China.
That is amazing. But I guess it's if you don't do it, you can't sell it here. So it's a massive part of the market they lose out on, I guess.
But then haven't China stopped selling the iPhone?
I'm not sure of it.
No. They've stopped people having iPhones.
Still make it though.
They still make. That's what I'm baffled about. Is because I think it's going to spy on their nation because America did the same thing with Huawei.
But the funniest thing is, China spy on their own nation.
China will spy on their own nation for jaywalking.
They spy on their own people.
They spy on their own people for jaywalking. So is this something because it says it on the back of every iPhone? I don't know why it fucking still says it. Designed in California, USA, assembled in China. Is it China's way? And hear me out.
We're about to go down a conspiracy theory.
We're going down a conspiracy theory here now. The CIA and the
going
FBI.
Down the rabbit hole.
This rabbit hole's getting deeper. Is it China's way of trying to fight France? not France. I mean, France have picked up on it, haven't they? I mean, the iPhone 12. I mean, so will we follow? Is this a...
I mean, you went so far down the rabbit hole that I got lost.
You got lost. I got lost. And that's what I'm trying to say. Is this something that during COVID, someone's done something, they've fucked up, they've made these hand models. I mean, where's the radiation coming from? Does it come from a chip? Does it come from the battery?
Yeah,
Does it come from the cellular part?
It's hard to know.
Where it gets signal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not immediately clear, is it? What's why they're banning it.
I mean, why radiation? Why can't it just be like the Samsung, where it just blew up, set fire to your house?
Samsung's loved a bit of that explosion,
loved a good old battery flare up, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to... I'll tell you what, we're going to do that. We're going to look into this.
Yeah, so there's quite an interesting piece there that the France's scientific advisor says that the levels from an iPhone 12 are much lower than they would be thought to cause any harm. So even though the iPhone 12...
What does he mean by that, though?
So the iPhone 12, he's saying basically it doesn't produce enough radiation to actually hurt anyone, but they're banning it anyway, which seems like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I think something's...
Do you reckon this is
I think this is a fight back at something, isn't it?
I think it's a smokescreen for something else.
I think it's because they know that they're spying on things. Because it goes back to... government phones in this country are not allowed to have access to social media. Government phones that obviously employees have. So, because they thought things were spying, they think apps are spying on people.
Yes, it does. I do kind of agree a little bit that maybe this is some sort of smokescreen so that they can... Maybe there's something to... maybe there's some piece of hardware on an iPhone 12 that France can't, I don't know, hack into or spy on or whatever. So they're kind of using this radiation thing as a smokescreen to kind of get these things off the market in the country. Who knows?
Well, I've got the iPhone...
You're on the 13.
13 Pro, right? It says here, how do I check my radiation levels? Okay, so do a little tutorial.
A little tutorial level.
So go to your settings app, general, and then it's got a thing called legal and... Is that regulator?
Legal and regulatory.
There we go, regulatory. And then we've got a thing called RF exposure. And then it should give you a page like that. And it's full of information.
Well, how your phone's giving you.
And it's got what's called a SAR values for this device are available at www.apple legal information. And it gives you basically what you have as PDF downloadable report. So the SAR limit is 1.6 watts per kilogram in countries that set the limit average over 1 gram of tissue, and 2 watts per kilogram in countries that set the limit average over 10 grams of tissue. So there's lots of things on here, and then obviously the SAR limit, head 1.2, body 1.19. So it gives you the limitation, right, of what. So if you hold it by your head, you get like 0.01 of an extra exposure.
Literally.
You will get brain cancer.
You will get brain cancer. So if you kept your phone strapped to your head for like a year, do you reckon then it would do some damage?
I want to know now, the old days with the old ring dial phone.
Yeah.
Did that have radiation in there as well?
I think that thing had barely any electrics in it.
Hello? Did that have... What's going on?
It does make you wonder
what
why...
has France done? What if it's hardly...
weird.
If it's hardly any... Could someone from France please explain?
It would be good to know why they're doing this. I mean, they've obviously said the levels are low enough that they don't cause any harm anyway, so why are they banning it? France, why are you banning it? Tell us, please.
So it breaches its exposure limits, but they with the iPhone, when it would have been, it would have passed.
It would have passed when it first came out, yeah. So have they lowered the limits? It doesn't seem like they have, from what we can see. So why is it now suddenly breaching the limits? Is it because as they get older, they produce more radiation, which sounds dangerous?
But to the point where it's like a Chernobyl reactor.
Yeah, you leave it for like 16 years, and it's just like...
Open your side drawer after 10 years because you've got like loads of iPhones just glowing like
just fuck. Glowing red.
It's like a uranium bloody... It's like a... What do they call those things? Fuel rod.
Oh, like a uranium rod or whatever.
It's just like when Homer Simpson gets in his batch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why that iPhone? Why not the other iPhones?
I'd be very interested to know that as well.
That's why I've put in the woke Google into our woke search engine. It hasn't come up with anything.
No.
Because it's probably too woke. Probably doesn't want to... But yeah, so I want to know what iPhone's response is to this, because obviously iPhone, or Apple, they're going to obviously have to come forward and say, well, actually, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And if this just, it doesn't meet the European standards, it says the European standards limits, who's next? Not Japan. Germany. I said Japan. Brain fart. Germany... Spain, you know, obviously we're not part of the EU anymore, but we do fall under some of those.
It kind of makes me wonder if the reason it's the 12 is because I would assume you can't buy anything lower than a 12 in Europe anymore.
No.
So you would think they can't ban the 11 because they can't be sold, or they're not sold. I assume if you've already got a 12, it doesn't affect you. It's just purchasing a new 12. I mean, who's buying a 12 anyway?
Could you imagine they're doing a roundup on iPhone 12?
Yeah, just knocking on your door, you got a 12.
We need it now.
Have you seen those videos of people in China when, like, if they've got COVID or, you know, stuff like that, like, people will go to their doors in, like, full hazmat and forcibly take them away? Have you seen those videos?
Do that with the iPhone 12.
Yeah, if you've got an iPhone 12, they just come to your door.
There'd be like two guys in those big like radiation suits.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a guy behind with like a little like trolley jack with a massive radiation barrel.
Chamber.
They open it up and they chuck it in there and they seal it and they go, we got another one. And then they run away.
Maybe that's what they do.
Run away into the back of a truck.
Yeah, just speed off.
We got one and we pick it up and they go around the streets going, oh, they got an iPhone 12, breach that building. They get
kicking the door in.
Coming through your roof and all that. Like,
SWAT coming in on them.
What's the process now? Like, because a lot of people don't know this, but you do have like radiation detectors in certain locations. They're all around like cities and everything like that. They do pick this shit up.
Yeah.
So obviously, like when little Timmy's in his back garden and he makes a full-grown nuclear reactor, they can pick that shit up. It's like that. Oh, sorry, someone's come up on the map. That's what's going to happen with these.
Everyone's like hotspots glowing on the map.
Does that mean
iPhone 12s
that
are going nuclear?
Put 2 crocodile clips, positive and negative, onto it, and they could run like a nuclear reactor off these iPhones. So, getting stupid. But yeah, come on. I want to see what Apple's response is to this, because it was obviously safe at the time.
Yeah.
And now we're like 3 years down the line, and it's not safe no more. It's breaching standards. Even though that guy said it's not going to do any harm to you.
No. So why are the limits that low?
Britain's getting slower. No, the United Kingdom's getting slower.
Britain is getting slower, to be fair.
We're getting well behind the times, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, we obviously heard recently that Southampton was going to start lowering speed limits around the city to 20 miles an hour, which is going to be painful. I mean, driving around the city is painful anyway. And now, where was this one?
Wales.
Wales. Are they doing it across the whole of Wales?
Yeah.
Like
4.2, 4.1 billion contract to make most roads 20 miles per hour.
Damn. That's going to be quite painful.
And why waste all that money?
I mean, the roads around Wales, have you ever driven in Wales?
No.
Yeah, I have a few times.
I've only gone across the bridge.
I've gone across the bridge and kind of around Wales a bit, and a lot of the roads over there are quite slow anyway. They have like 50s and 60s in quite a lot of places, versus over here we tend to have 70s and, on dual carriageways and stuff. So it's going to make the roads even slower.
Is it so that you can concentrate more when you drink driving?
Maybe. I mean, I would assume the logic behind it is that if everyone's going 20 miles an hour, there's going to be less congestion. People are going to build, the traffic's going to build up less.
Have they been to London?
So, in theory, in theory, it would cause less traffic. Everyone would be going slower, but because there'd be less traffic, you'd actually get where you're going quicker. In theory, but like we've both driven around London. Don't always work like that.
Pollution as well. They reckon it really helps with pollution.
Yeah.
Like they've started slowing parts on UK motorways. Like the M4, for instance, has got a constant thing up saying reduced speed due to air quality.
Oh.
Right next to fucking Heathrow Airport.
Interesting.
So they bring the pollution levels down there.
And all those jet engines just like...
Those absolute massive Boeing 747s.
Just annihilating the atmosphere.
6 engines. I don't know how many engines. Don't have me for that, you... whatever people, airplane people. Massive jets taking off. So yeah, 20 mile per hour is coming into effect in Wales. Why?
Yeah.
It's going to make your journeys longer. It's going to double bus journeys, because buses are now having to slow down and everything like that, and they're getting later to their destinations.
It's definitely going to help stops. With congestion when there's more traffic. When there's less traffic, it's going to make everyone get where they're going slower, and everyone's going to go 30 anyway. Like, you're going to put speed cameras on every road. I think they will. That's how it's going to get, if that is what they want to do across the board. But cars are getting better. Yes. There's stopping capabilities. They've got computers on them. We've got an Audi that if you step out in front of it, it stops. And you can't even move lanes if it doesn't want you to. No, I can't move lanes if it won't let me. No, and you could be driving down a 50 mile per hour single carriageway, and say where they've resurfaced it, and then there's a patch line. It will follow that patch line. I reckon that's what Audi's new saying should be. You don't drive it, Audi drives you. Because your car literally does. Das Auto. Exactly. Yeah, like literally, like so why? It'd be interesting to see how much of a difference it makes. If it's more for congestion or pollution or both. I mean, which one are they trying to target more? Is it going to help? I reckon it's going to be something to do with pollution. I would imagine so, yeah. But you have more downtime on diesel vehicles. Because a diesel vehicle requires to have high rev to push through the crap because it's got DPF on it. And because it's pressure based, it's not like ignition based. No, it's pressure based. So exactly. So those DPFs that they had fitted because diesel catalytic filters will to help the environment to take all of the dust and crap and soot out the diesel fumes. They're just going to build up even more. And I know that most lorries are able to do their own regens, so they can park up and do a regen. But you're going to see that everywhere now, because obviously you have 20 mile per hour everywhere. And some of these vehicles are city-based driving. Yeah. So the vans, a lot of vans don't have a regen capability. All they do, but you have to drive between 30 miles per hour to 50 for a couple of miles. I would imagine, so you won't be able to do that in 20. See, I would imagine there's also a secret part of this sort of 20 miles an hour thing, where they're kind of trying to force out diesel drivers even more than they already are.
They're just forcing out drivers.
Because there's quite a big
because what the idea would be is you'll be able to cycle quicker, won't you?
Yeah, there's quite a big push right now on. Oh, if you drive a diesel, you're a bad man.
Yeah, even though we were told to buy a diesel.
Yeah, but now if you drive a diesel, you're like the devil.
Even I was told when I first started driving, I was told get a diesel vehicle. It's the most economical vehicle.
I do remember hearing that when I was starting to drive as well. Now, if you say, "I might get a diesel," you're frowned at.
Oh, they bring down the old cosh on you. You start getting beaten up.
Where the fuck are you buying cars?
Old Sadiq Khan start beating you up. People wearing his masks running around.
It's gonna have a diesel.
Diesel. Whack. No, I'll go for the petrol. No, hybrid. They keep breaking your arms till you get that EV. You know.
That took a dark turn.
Buy EVs, don't get broken legs.
That's the
break
tagline.
Your knees. I think that's what's going to happen in a minute. They're just going to start coming around breaking people's knees in car manufacturers if you don't get a fucking EV.
Then you can't drive anyway, so it saves on the emissions, doesn't it?
Well, you can't. It'd be pedals, won't it? It'll be all flappy.
Yeah.
You know, this is, again, you're 20 miles per hour. You'll be able to cycle quicker. You'll probably be able to walk quicker in a minute than a car.
Probably
what's going on? What is actually happening?
To be fair, I reckon you can walk around London quicker than you can drive half the time.
Like, well, it's been proven. You can get from Piccadilly to oh god, where is it? Like Mayfair. You can walk quicker.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Beat the tube, beat the bus,
beat the
taxi.
well.
Yeah, you do. You beat the tube, you beat the taxi, you beat the underground, you beat aircraft, you beat flies, and you beat birds. You know, you walk quicker. Okay, so every 20 mile per hour zone that gets put in, what are you gonna do? Plant a tree?
Yeah, probably.
Like, I don't see what's going on. I understand the 20 for schools, hospitals, universities, and in the cities, right in the cities where we got pedestrian level.
Yeah, but those are more safety
based. I get that.
Yeah, that does make sense.
That makes sense. Like, it's safety.
You can't be doing 60 past the school, like, honestly.
But, you know, 30 miles per hour, the vehicle stops. And I remember the advert, people travelling at 40, you'll kill me. You hit me at 30.
Oh, I remember that. Specifically, it was
a girl. She used to roll out of the reel.
It was hit me at 30 and there's an 80% chance I'll live. Hit me at 40, there's an 80% chance I'll die.
Yeah.
That was the advert.
So these adverts, we don't see them anymore. I haven't seen one.
I haven't seen that one in a while,
I think because it will upset people.
That's what, seeing a little girl crumbled in the road.
Distressing, even though it's all CGI.
Yeah.
You know, but they were brilliant. They worked.
Yeah, they did. They did actually kind of make you think, oh shit.
And you think during a school, unless you drive a great big massive Range Rover and you must pick up all 18 kids and you got to do 40 miles per hour, so you got to go 15 fucking different destinations, then yeah, but 20 miles per hour, I think that's where it's effective.
Yeah, of course it is.
Doing 20 miles per hour on a motorway in a minute is not going to be effective.
It will be, won't it?
It will get like that.
It'll be...
And as much as people will say that it won't happen, they are already thinking of reducing the speed limit by 10 miles per hour on most motorways. It is already in discussion.
Which is funny, because I remember a couple of years ago, they were talking about raising it by 10.
That's right.
Now they're putting it down.
Now they want to put it down.
Do you know what? I have a prediction that what we're going to see at some point in the future is we'll see lanes on motorways specifically for petrol or electric. And if you're in petrol, you've got to go 40. If you're in electric, go 70. I reckon that's what we'll start seeing. Like petrol and electric lanes. If you're in electric, you can go faster.
What will happen in the petrol lane then?
Just everyone
they have like hoovers and all that to pick up the emissions or something.
Oh, they'll have to do something. No, I reckon they'll just have cameras all the way along, forcing people to go slow in petrol cars and diesel cars. It
just reminds me of how backward we're going with evolution, because have you seen them putting wind sails on ships?
No.
Right. Honestly, I'll show you. They're putting wind sails on ships, right?
Yeah.
And they're saying it's revolutionary technology. It's like state-of-the-art technology.
What do you mean?
Right?
But isn't that just how boats work?
That's how pirates went round.
That's what I mean. Isn't that how the first boats worked? Like the first ships with sails.
Right?
And what's this for? So they don't have to use the engines as much?
Yeah. Look at it. And they say it's like technology, like revolutionised technology.
Oh, so it's like if there's like wind, they can like put the engines down lower. So the wind can kind of take the ship. Is that what it is?
What the fuck was wrong with ships like that?
Well, that's how ships worked, isn't it?
So we went to diesel engines.
Do you know what that's the equivalent of?
Coal steel engines.
That's like the equivalent of saying, oh, we've got an idea to make cars more efficient. We're going to put pedals in them. You're going to be able to pedal your car. It's like revolutionary technology.
We're going to take the footwell out and you can run like Flintstones.
Yeah, it's like, but that's not it though, is it? We
might as well go round in all those little cars we used to get as a kid.
Oh, there's little like red and yellow ones.
Buggy things.
I love those things. You could tip those things over 1,000,000 times. They were rock solid.
You could roll your ankle riding on them.
Yeah, you could.
Oh, you could really getting the wheel stuck under it. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it just doesn't make sense. We're going so backwards to the point now they're thinking of sticking overhead lines on motorways and making lorries at what we used to use with trams with an overhead wire. We got rid of all of our trams in this country, apart from like places like Glasgow, Newcastle, Edinburgh. You know, they've still. I think Birmingham's got a couple of trams. Southampton got rid of all of its trams.
Yeah, you don't see them anymore, yeah.
They've still got them under the tarmac, I believe, because they just tarmacked over them because it costs so much to take them out.
I imagine.
You know, they just there's places in London you can dig them up still. You stick up some of the old tram lines. Why the fuck do we just not go back to trams?
Just go back to trams.
I would use a tram everywhere. Like, is it San Francisco?
Yeah, they love a tram, don't they? Trams everywhere over there. They're pretty cool as well.
And they have complete right of way.
Yeah.
For you know, they are quicker than anything. You hop on it. When I went to Edinburgh in Scotland, I went on the tram everywhere.
Did you?
In Edinburgh.
I don't think I've ever been on a tram.
What's the point in walking when that's going ding ding down there? Hop onto it, off you go, and you're literally down the end of the road. You know, like perfect if you're an elderly lady doing your shopping and all that. But we're going to make 20-mile-per-hour roads for cars that have got bigger engines. Well, not bigger engines, but better engines, more economical engines, and that are a lot more faster and safer. We're getting better brake systems out there. We're getting better technology.
Yeah.
In a minute, they're going to stick wind turbines on cars.
Imagine. I don't think it'll be long before you see cars, electric cars, with the entire roof just a massive solar panel.
Well, they've done that, haven't they? There's an American car that's come out that's got a solar panel.
I think you'll start seeing that.
But it takes like 42 years.
42 years. Have you seen that episode of Black Mirror when she stops at the petrol station, but she gets like a solar panel out and plugs it into her car? That's what we'll start seeing soon.
Like little Honda petrol engine is charging your solar panel engine.
Yeah.
It's a 12-volt battery, right? But it needs to be powered a lot to keep the vehicle going, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? So why can't we just stick like normal like Duracell batteries? Oh, no, I'm being
Duracell batteries. Stick those C batteries in it.
It's 12
volt, like drop them in like you charge.
This is what I'm saying. We're going so backwards. That, like, I remember when we used to look in science books at school, and had a car with a solar panel on the roof, and it was like, you know, proper diet. You know, and you're thinking, why the fuck don't we have things like that? And we do, but they don't want you to do that.
No.
Because you're harnessing free energy.
Yeah, there is something to that, I think. Well, it's going to be interesting. So this whole 20 miles an hour stuff goes.
We've got Blade Runners on the ULEZ. They're taking out the cameras at the minute.
Yeah, they're still going strong.
So are there people that are going to do this to the 20-mile-per-hour zones?
I think
because we had the LTNs, people were taking the bollards out of the roads.
I don't think people are going to adhere to it. I think they're just going to go 30. Like, if you're in a 30 now, most people go 40. You put it down to 20, everyone's just going to go 30.
Live down my road here, 30-mile-per-hour road, people try and get to 90. I swear on my life, we've had so many crashes on our cross junction here. Like, the amount of people have had to go out and pull out of a car that's nearly set on fire. Yeah. Or they've had incidents and people have gone straight in the T-bone everyone on this little junction where I live, that I should actually just turn the CCTV to face it.
You probably should.
And I could just make a whole stream about it every day.
Yeah.
We got boy races at midnight and motorbikes that try and get from 0 to 900 miles per hour.
I bet you hear them going by, don't you? Like, wop, 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 wop.
Yeah, honestly, and you hear them go... just... everything. It's like being on the autobahn down our road.
Literally.
And it's two 20s and a 30. But they come from the 20 doing this. They try and get from one end to the other and probably try and see how fast they can get.
Do it in like 3 seconds.
You know, I've never complained because it's not my problem. I don't know where they are. I just hear it. But you can see them when they go past on the camera. Because not even the Ring doorbell picks them up.
Going so fast.
It picks up.
Doorbell's like, what the fuck was that?
It does. 3 seconds, gone. The whole 30-second clip. Well, what was that then? You know, slow down, you're going to kill someone's cat.